Well, well, well. Yeah. This is kind of how I figured this game was going to go. But last meeting we had when we faced them, they killed us 129 to 112. But we didn't have Jimmy Butler at the time. So this was kind of a rematch. This was the new and improved Sixers. We had taken over second place. We're taking on the number one team in the East right now. They're red hot. Really great team in Toronto that they have. But good God, how do you expect to win a game when you turn the freaking ball over 21 times? They were so careless out there with the freaking basketball. It's just unreal. It's like watching a freaking high school team out there the way they pass the ball. They were lackadaisical, lazy. They drew up a great game plan to shut down JoJo, the best player on our team. I cannot stand Ben Simmons. I can't. He drives me absolutely bonkers, bro. Absolutely bonkers. How do you have one more point than you do turnovers? You took 6 shots, dude. 6 shots. Why are you not being aggressive? Why? What are you doing out there? You know, everybody wants to go out here and pay this guy $200 million from what? I have yet to see this Ben Simmons, this breakout Ben Simmons that everybody keeps telling me. Oh, he's going to be a great player. Oh, he's the next LeBron. Oh, my God, how could you want to say you want to walk away from a player like Ben Simmons? What does he do great other than pass? Nothing. Why wasn't he defending Kawhi Leonard? Why was Jimmy Butler on Kawhi Leonard? That was my first question. Kawhi killed us tonight. He's an absolute monster. Best player on the court, 100%. You can see why they made the trade and why the Sixers wanted to go out and get Kawhi Leonard so bad because of how great of a player he is. He's great defensively. He's great offensively. He can do pretty much everything. He was red hot from downtown, 5 from 6. He got into the passing lanes. They had 12 steals on us tonight. They took 100 shots, and they didn't even shoot that good tonight. Can you imagine if they were knocking down their shots? They're a very good three-point shooting team. They didn't shoot good from downtown tonight. They were abysmal. They murdered us in the paint with 62 points in the paint. I mean, just imagine. They took 100 shots, for Christ's sakes. On top of our 21 freaking turnovers, they got 17 offensive rebounds. You cannot win a game with 21 turnovers, nor by giving up freaking 17 freaking extra shots. That could lead to a multitude of points when you're trying to build a lead, which we had. We played really good in the first quarter, and then after that, we kind of just deflated. It was like watching the air come out of a balloon. It was so painful to watch. We could have won this game tonight. Absolutely. They took Embiid out of it. Jimmy Butler was a complete monster. They fed him. You know, he took over 27 shots. He had, what did he have, 38 points? He was a monster from downtown, 4 from 6, 10 rebounds. He was great tonight. You know, if it wasn't for Jimmy, JJ had a nice game, but why are they not feeding JJ more? He had it going on. Why didn't we draw up more plays? That's Brett Brown. And again, Brett Brown not knowing what to do, how to draw up plays. He should have called timeouts when they built the lead. He did it good in the first half. Right when they started to cut to our lead, timeout. Cool. What the hell happened in the second half? It turned into the Brett Brown is sitting there scratching his head like, I don't know what I'm doing. Do I call a timeout? I don't know. It's like, come on, dude. You want to freaking go to the NBA Finals? You want to be Coach of the Year? You want to hold up a freaking championship ring? You're not going to do that. That was the test tonight. This was basically the Sixers' finals tonight to see if we could even get there. Obviously, they're not good enough to get there. Obviously. It just bothers me so much. If we would have taken the L, I didn't expect us to win the night, but not like this. Not the way that they did it tonight. Because it was competitive in the first quarter. But just by letting up easy freaking points, dude, they just murdered us. And the defensive switching. What the hell, dude? I mean, awful. And I don't know what a foul is in the NBA anymore. I really don't. I saw Valanciunas at least 5 times shuffle his feet. That last call on Embiid was complete bullshit. They were calling ticky-tack fouls all night, and it seems like they were doing a lot on the Sixers. Not why we lost, but, I mean, come on, dude. If you're going to call bullshit calls, call them up and down the floor on both teams. Because it seemed very heavily favored on calling on the Sixers and not on the Raptors at all. A lot of bogus calls, and I'm glad Embiid freaked out. I don't care about the technical. The same with Butler. Butler got fouled on that play, and he let the refs hear it. You just can't. Let them freaking play, dude. It's a joke. You know, on top of that, we went to the line 14 times. 14 times. That is where the adjustment needs to be made. The same with Embiid. He wasn't aggressive enough tonight. He gave in and turned himself into a jump shooter. You got to go down on that block and bang, dude. You're telling me you can't overpower freaking Serge Ibaka and Valanciunas? Dude is not good, man. He's okay. He's not good. He's not great, I mean. You could have easily taken advantage of him with your speed. And you could have overpowered Ibaka. I mean, that's a joke. And for him, you got to turn him into a jump shooter. You can't let him get all them easy freaking points off them rebounds, because that's how he gets his points. He cleans the glass and he gets the easy twos. They missed a lot of bunnies tonight, the Raptors did, so this could have been another blowout game. But the Sixers, this just shows you that the Sixers obviously not good enough to make it to the finals, nor beat the Raptors. They still need another piece. We get no production out of the bench. The rotations were terrible. You saw Korkmaz on freaking Kawhi Leonard out there. Like, what are you doing, man? TJ McConnell needs to stop getting so many minutes. You got to spread it out. He is not good enough to get 23 minutes a game. He's good enough to give guys a couple blows, okay, for 5-10 minutes max. Not 23, not 25 minutes. TJ cannot be out there longer than that. He's not good enough. He's going to freaking get exposed defensively because he can't cover nobody. I saw him 3 times on a freaking center, and they took advantage of it. They took advantage of the mismatches. We did not. Ben Simmons, without him being aggressive, we needed somebody else to pick it up because they were going to. The focal point was going to be Embiid defensively, obviously. Jimmy did his thing. Where is Ben Simmons? Where is Ben Simmons? He went again to being passive-aggressive Ben Simmons. Break down the defense. Oh, nope. Even when he's close to the basket, he doesn't even go for a dunk. He tries to do a reverse layup or whatever. You're 6'10", dude. Flush the basketball. It's a joke. Absolute freaking joke. I can't wait for Markelle to come back. Honestly. You know, they finally figured out what the hell was wrong with him. I'd rather have him out there. Freaking unbelievable. At least he tries to get there. But how do you not go to the... They took 3 free throws in this the whole second half, and that was off the Mike Muscala fouled 3. They let this game get away from them. They could have beat them because of how poorly Toronto shot tonight. How poorly they shot. They could have easily taken this win. You saw it in the first quarter. The Sixers had a great plan. They played really hard defense, and then they gave up. We do need another bench player, and we knew that already. It's up to Elton Brand and Sixers brass to go out there and get him. Yeah, I agree. Ben Simmons, I don't think Ben Simmons can be our point guard of the future. Yeah, Sean, it was garbage. Ben Simmons is not a point guard. Nope. Like, I like when he goes down on the block and tries to overpower people. We saw it for a couple games, then he got away from it. And then tonight, with the turnovers, he got in early foul trouble. But the other thing with Ben Simmons is he chokes in big games. He doesn't show up ever. He doesn't show up in big games and important games. And you need your star players to do that. Okay? Jimmy Butler showed up. Where was Ben Simmons? Get the glasses out because I didn't see him. They killed us on the boards, and they usually do. Boys won't far, but that's it. I mean, we can find somebody else that can do what Ben Simmons does at this point in his career. You know, a guy that's got good court vision, easily found. Ben's in his second season. So what, Philly? I mean, he didn't improve from last year. He's digressed. At least last season he was aggressive and he attacked the basket. He's not even doing that. Disrespectful on the calls tonight, though, Kyle. What do you mean, disrespectful? Yeah, desperation threes. He turned into the old... No, you never do that, Creeper. You never trade in division. Hell no. But what do you mean he was being disrespectful? You agree with that last call on Embiid where Valanciunas clearly shuffled his feet and Embiid didn't foul him on that. Teams had an easy strategy, take Embiid away from the paint. Exactly. That's where Brett Brown has to come in and start drawing up plays for other teammates. Or somebody else has to step up. Jimmy was the entire team tonight. You can't blame Embiid because they had a great defensive game plan for him tonight. And that's the way to get in Embiid's head. You be physical with him, you double team him. He struggles when he's double team on there on the paint. And he wasn't aggressive enough. Oh, he wasn't getting calls, but you still try to be aggressive. It wasn't the refs' fault that the Sixers lost tonight. The Sixers lost tonight because they turned the ball over 21 times and let up 17 rebounds and didn't block out. And only one player showed up tonight. So I agree that the calls were shit. A lot of them were going against the Sixers. A lot of bad refereeing tonight. That's just the NBA. What about Brett Brown, Sean? I mean, this is where he's got to come in and have a strategy and make adjustments. And that is the biggest glaring need in Brett Brown's coaching ability. There is none. He can't make adjustments during the game. If we're not up or have a lead, or even when we do have a lead, he doesn't even know how to maintain it. It's like, dude, call a certain defense. If you're up, play press. You don't have to wait till the end of the game to play press defense. You can do it at any point during the game. Switch it up. He always gets outcoached. He always gets outcoached, Sean. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't. And you can't even say he chokes in big games because he chokes to lesser teams. The teams that don't even know don't even have a winning record, like the Cleveland. Isn't getting calls, but that's where Simmons... Yeah, that's exactly where Simmons has to take over. Be aggressive. Get to the line. Take a jumper. Broken record. It's been the same thing over and over with Ben Simmons. That's why I don't know why everybody's, enamored with his game. What has he shown where he is deserving to be called an elite player? He hasn't. He has potential. And when is he going to reach this potential? We don't have real time to wait for Ben to kind of want to develop to be aggressive or a jumper, or develop a jumper. Because, again, another game he goes without taking one. All good, Creeper. Have a good one, man. But, again, he doesn't even try to get to the line. He broke down the defense a couple times, and he doesn't even go up the flush. He just looks to kick it out, and that's where all those bullshit turnovers came from. He gets stuck in the air, and he tries to make a play with his ability to pass the ball. But he relies on it too much. Yes, they did. They did lose. The reasons we lost tonight: lack of calls from refs, aggression from Ben Simmons. I'll agree with you the last two. I'm not blaming it on the refs. We're not trading anybody to the Celtics. I'm never trading Embiid, period. The game was totally winnable. Jimmy did everything he could to put this team on his back, and they should have drawn up more plays for J.J. Redick. They got to get in the paint. That is our bread and butter. Yeah, our defense, this is yet another game. They say we're a great defensive team, yet we let up over 110 points every game. I don't think Jimmy's going to leave us. We played a very admirable opponent. It's not like we're going out and losing to these bottom feeders. They're still going to make the playoffs. Yeah, I think they're going to make the playoffs. There's no doubt about it, but we're not looking just to make the playoffs. We're looking to take that next step, to get past the second round, to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, to get to the finals, to hold up a championship trophy, to get that ring. That is the goal. We've already made the playoffs, okay? Now it's time to look to something that's better. Phil Jackson? I don't want Phil Jackson. There were no plays drawn up. That's Brett Brown. That's the problem. Where's the coach to call a timeout and set plays up for players? The Celtics are in a rut right now, but I wouldn't count them out at all. We're going to need to make a move for Beal. We still need shooting. Someone can get their own shot. Yeah, exactly. We still need to make another trade to acquire a player that can create his own shot and that can shoot the ball. Bradley Beal would be my top choice. And whatever it's going to take to get him, we have to pull the trigger on. Who would be a better coach? I would go get Mark Jackson, honestly. I would love to have Mark Jackson. He got done dirty so bad by the freaking Warriors. It's unbelievable. He made that team better each and every season. And right when they're peaking, they freaking kick him out and bring Steve Kerr in. That was so messed up. Yes, I've played Red Dead. It's a good game. So, that's the coach I would like to have here. He's a good defensive-minded coach, knows basketball. I don't think we can get Bradley Beal either, bro. If you don't hit threes, they don't win. They don't move without the ball on half-court offense. No. Without Embiid on the block, see, that's where you have to, when you want to be a great team, that's where you make adjustments. You're not stationary in what you do offensively. If you look at the Warriors and what they've done over their past 4 years, when they've been in the finals and won 3 out of the 4, they've adapted. Some games they're a half-court set team. Other games they're running and gunning. They're moving the ball. They're a defensive team that causes a lot of turnovers. They change their offensive game plan so much that you can't really watch tape and hone in on what they're going to do. Sixers don't have that. What are we going to do? Embiid goes down on the block, you double team. Who else is going to step up? Now that we have Butler, we have another guy to lean on. But, if he's not going to hit shots and you're only getting, you're shooting one time and not getting the rebound, you're giving up 17 offensive rebounds, not blocking out, not playing defense, you're going to lose. You can't win a game by turning the ball over 21 times and being lackadaisical. I mean, it's a joke. Did you see what the Raptors did? They were making the Sixers, they were taking them out of the paint because that's what we do, and causing them and turning them into a jump shooting team. It's their weakness. And when we were doing that, they were blocking us out. There were 3 freaking Raptors out there guarding around that ring, guarding around the rim. So we couldn't get the rebound. Why can't we do that? I mean, it's just mind-boggling. It's the same shit every freaking game. What is Brett Brown doing? What is he telling them during practice? Are they not watching film? I mean, it's unbelievable. You can't lean on Embiid every single game. Somebody else has to score points, get to the line, okay? Yes, we have Butler fall back on, but you at least need a couple guys to be able to score 25 or more to beat a team like the Toronto Raptors. Our bread and butter is getting to the line. When we don't get to the line and slow up their defense and slow stuff down and get them in foul trouble, 14 trips to the line? You kidding me? Embiid needed to be more aggressive. He needed to freaking get down on their block and cause them to get fouls. You can't bail them out. And we were bailing them out all freaking night. I mean, it's a joke. 3 freaking free throws in the second half? See, the problem is, Ron, it's not going to happen because they're tight. The organization's tight with Brett. There's nobody really chomping at the bit or putting him in the hot seat to really push him for his job. I mean, he's the basketball of operations in the organization. He's basically kind of half and half with Elton Brand as the GM. So he's tight locked in. Kind of like Andy was with the Eagles for so long with Jeffrey Lurie. He's locked in. He doesn't have to worry about his job. He's not on the hot seat, and he should be. This is a joke. At the 5 position, hopefully defense. He's not there, though. There's a reason Bolden's not cracking the minutes. He doesn't impress me at all. The lack of coaching is so obvious, though. Yeah, I know it is. A lot of it's Brett. I already said who I would take for the coach. I would take Mark Jackson, honestly. But Ben Simmons has got to turn that second gear on, like sooner rather than later. True, we do, but when you only have Jimmy Butler scoring 38 points and your other two, 8 and 10, I mean, you trade for Butler to complete that tripod of that stardom with the young potential. You always talk about Embiid, Simmons, and then you get Butler to be that third tier. People are all worried about Jimmy Butler because he's turning 30. Well, look what the old guy did. He showed up to two young bucks. And he looked like the best one tonight, which he was. Embiid got shut down. Simmons was nowhere to be found. That's all there is to say. We have no bench. No, true. But if you look at the Raptors bench, other than Valanciunas, nobody did anything. And that was our lack of defense because we had a freaking guard or somebody smaller than Valanciunas the entire time. It's a joke. I mean, it's the lack of basketball knowledge out there. No adjustments. It's the coaching. And Ben Simmons not being aggressive. Yeah, he should. I don't know why nobody jumps down Ben Simmons' throat. Why does he get a pass? Because he won Rookie of the Year? Big deal. And Brett Brown, when it comes to superior teams, he cannot do shit. Him nor Simmons can do shit when it comes to the big game. And this was a huge game tonight. This should be an eye-opener. Needs to drop his pants. Yeah, and he needs to take that stupid headband off because it didn't work for him tonight. Was he expected to give him, like, special powers? Because it didn't. It didn't work. The two games that he did play, we were playing trash teams, and he did okay on the defense, switch literally every pick and roll. Yeah, it is, but we need to stop switching on the pick and roll. We need to stick to our man sometimes. He needs some type of something, dude. Because all they're going to do, the good teams, they load the paint up, and they dare him to shoot, and he doesn't do it. He does half the work for the defense. So, he's helping them out. We need to get Brett out of here. The player love him, but he doesn't accept mediocrity. Drew Holiday, bring Drew back? Not with Ben Simmons here. That ain't going to work. Oh, crap. Dropped my phone. Sorry. Dropped my phone. But, just a disappointing loss. I didn't expect us to win tonight because they're a far superior team. But Elton Brand's got to go out and make another move and quick. Because I'm not happy with just making the playoffs. I want to at least make it to the Eastern Conference Final. Lou Will would have been perfect. A guy like that can score buckets in bunches very quickly, like a Lou Will or Jamal Crawford, would be like money right now. But they should have fed JJ more because he had it going tonight, and they didn't. They strayed away from him for whatever reason. And we lost because of it. I appreciate that, Jose. Thank you. You know, it sucks. I'm passionate about this team. I love this team. I have this team tattooed on my body. I've been watching them since the AI days. As long as I can remember, I was a young buck when AI first came into the league. And, you know, we had a lot of good seasons, and there was never a team built around him at all. Well, this team is better, but with the potential that we have. He's not even a consistent shooter. Yeah, but I don't know what everybody expects out of Mike Muscala. He is what he is. He's an energy guy, and he's going to shoot threes. He doesn't have any post moves. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and shoot mid-range. He shoots threes. That's what he does. He's a high-energy guy, and he gets offensive rebounds. I'm okay with Muscala. I do not, Sean. I will never have Brett Brown on my body. Ever. Yeah, Mike Muscala is better than Sarge. He can hit threes more consistently. And they're about even on the defensive spectrum, but I think he's a better rebounder than the homie, too. Didn't have the lowest basketball IQ of all time. He'd literally be the GOAT. Remember, though, he hasn't played basketball his whole life. He's kind of green behind the ears with that. He's only been playing basketball 8 years. Yeah, bro, it's terrible, bro. Terrible. 21 turnovers. It's like watching a freaking AAU team out there. And in basketball, I don't know when, like, putting your arm when you're on the offensive end, when did this not become a foul? Because when I used to play ball down at Fairmount Park, they would call that all the time, dude. All the freaking time. This pushing off, and they're teaching it, and they're not calling it, and I don't know if they're teaching it in college. This is an offensive foul when you're guarding with your arm and you're pushing the defender off. Is this turning into the NFL where defensive guys can't do anything either? I mean, it's a joke, dude. It's like they want to see high-scoring games too, just like the NFL. What are they supposed to do? There's a lot of bad calls tonight. There's no doubt about it. But we need to get into the paint. We need to get to the free throw line. Force them to do. They did what we should have done. We should have done to them what they did to us. Force them to be into jump shooters. Okay? It's going to be hard to shut down Kawhi Leonard. He's a freaking monster. Top 3 player in the league. Top 4 player in the league. I don't mind Mike Muscala. I mean, he is what he is, as advertised. But Joel almost in the game and he didn't get called for it. Well, Embiid should have forced him to foul him, though. We didn't see the patented move by Embiid to try to swing his arms around. That didn't happen. And I'm pretty sure Embiid outweighs Ibaka. He's a lot stronger than him, so he didn't even attempt to back him down and get to the free throw line. Force them to foul you. Don't give in. That's Embiid's problem. Okay, he doesn't like to bang down there a lot. For as big as a guy as he is, he doesn't show a lot of power down there a lot of the times. Like, he gives into the defense and it turns him into a shooter. And you saw it a lot tonight. He was shooting more threes when he wasn't backing the guys down. And he wasn't trying to get to the line. Force the refs to call a foul. Even though they were horrible tonight, if he would have banged a little more, I bet you he would have got some calls. It seemed one-sided tonight, though, for sure. But you can't blame it on the refs. We didn't block out. We were lazy with the passes. Bad over. This is an eye-opener, though. Okay, we knew we needed more bench players, but we need another scorer because Ben Simmons is invisible. Yes, it is. We want to take it back to the old school, right? This was a huge test tonight, man. We got to go out and get Beal, even though it's unrealistic. We got to try to do something to get him. I don't know what value Zaire Smith really offers, but just so upsetting, man. So upsetting. Because it was a good game in the first half. But you can't win with that. Shamet wasn't on tonight. He had a flat shot. I think he had a little bit of nerves going on, too. Big game. His flat was just freaking like a straight beeline tonight. It looked like a sinker, honestly. Looked like one of Brad Lidge's sinkers. We don't need better, like I said. He's hard for me to watch. Muscala? I don't mind him. I know he gets a lot of hate, but he's a guy that's going to shoot threes. 10 what, bros? He's going to be a guy that shoots a lot of threes. Yeah, some of them are a little... But he's just like another Covington out there. You have to have a bench. Yes, agreed. We need somebody that comes off the bench. But look at our bench. It's a bunch of young guys. That's why it was nice when we had JJ coming off the bench. It was perfect. You got a guy that could light it up in bunches. We need another guy like JJ. Whether it's Lou Will, I don't think we're going to pry him away from the Clippers because of how well they play. And we might be able to get Crawford. I wish we would have really signed him in the offseason. But you need more depth, that's for sure. And the young Bucks, it's putting a lot of pressure on the young rookies coming off the bench and the second-year players. It's not good when, but again, whose fault is that? Brett Brown. He doesn't know how to manage minutes, know how to manage players at all. His rotations are horrible, along with him being able to call a timeout to stop the bleeding, to draw up a play, because it's all lack thereof with Brett Brown. He needs to go. He can't make adjustments. I can't stand him. AI? I don't know if AI will speak to the team. He's tried to get into the organization for the longest time, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's being a scout, a GM, or what have you. And I know that's really got to burn him up that they freaking went out and made Elton Brand, who played here, 2 or 3 years as the GM? That's got to be freaking pissing him off. That's why Ben Simmons can realize how much smarter he is than the previous GOATs. What about Ben Simmons, Jose? Did you say somebody needs to talk to him? I don't like that he studies film and uses his brother as his shooting coach. I mean, what is that? Why can't he get taught from like a Reggie Miller or guys previous, a Del Curry, somebody that was lights out from downtown that could teach him how to shoot? Brown. Score, please. Did you not watch the game? You want me to tell you the score, Frank? Is that what you mean by that? But how pissed are you guys? Let's start answering some questions real quick. It was got 113 to 102, Toronto. So it wasn't as bad as the first meeting on October 30th. I wouldn't watch it if I was you. You might end up putting a hole in the wall. Ben needs to leave. He has a mid-range game. I think Ben Simmons is so much smarter than AI or Charles. Possibly. I mean, he does have a good. He does have a basketball IQ. He's been playing the game since he was, yay big. He had a dad that played professional basketball. And has the skill and the brains, but is lacking the confidence. Does he have the skill set, though? He's got the skill set to be able to see something before it happens. I'll give him that. He's got fantastic court vision. He plays good defense. I wouldn't call him an elite defender either. But the confidence is the biggest thing, dude. If you want to be he's made claims to where he wants to be the best player ever. He's looked up to LeBron. He's been compared to LeBron. You got to have that killer instinct, and he doesn't have that. You can't teach that either. We have good chemistry with the team. Spencer came. We do need another shooter, exactly. The team chemistry was not good tonight. Not at all. They weren't on the same page. 21 turnovers there, Frank. But he doesn't have confidence, Kurt. He doesn't have it at all. Ben has high IQ, but don't have the heart or bravado. Yeah, exactly. Those two had the killer instinct, Eric. You could see it. They went to the line, night in, night out. They put their team on their back. I didn't get to see Charles play, unfortunately. I was still a little young for that. But AI, he had IQ. He wasn't really a point guard. He was more a shooting guard, but he lit it up there, honestly. And I think you can find another player like a Ben Simmons rather than finding another AI. Eric Snow, I don't know, man. He really doesn't have that much experience. Is he an assistant anywhere? I want Mark Jackson, honestly, to tell you the truth. But if things end the way we expect them to or hope they don't, if we get knocked out of the playoffs, I don't see them firing Brett, to tell you the truth, because of how tightly knit he is with the organization. And you have to look at the owners at this point, too. They're not basketball people. They're not even sports people. They just bought the team because they had a buttload of money, and they figured, oh, this would be cool. I'm just going to buy a basketball team. Like, the owners are, zilch about that. And it all starts from the top. You look at Mark Cuban, who owns the Mavs. Intently knows sports, knows basketball. Very smart businessman. Great. Look what he went out and did. He traded a first-round pick to go, protected, mind you, too, to go get a Luka Doncic. Great move. Look at how quick he turned that team around. Okay, they're playing better than they have in years. You got an aging star, and Dirk hasn't been the type of player he has been for a couple years, but Father Time's still undefeated. And you got another budding star now in Luka Doncic. So I thought that was a great move. And again, it all starts from the top. Cuban is a genius, dude. I wish we had an owner / GM like Mark Cuban. He's a PA guy. Tried to buy the Pirates, couldn't do it. Got rejected. So he went out and bought the Mavs because they sucked and they were kind of cheap at the time. But, it is what it is. Sixers lose. Toronto is still the team to beat, in my opinion. Don't sleep on the Celtics. They are no way out of this at all. I think they are still a team to watch out for because of their coach. I would love to have, if there was a chance, I would trade Ben Simmons for Luka Doncic in a heartbeat. There's no doubt in my mind I would do that trade. I think Eric Snow is the head coach. Seem more reasonable than... I like Elton Brand as the GM, Jose. I'm crazy because I would trade Ben Simmons for Luka Doncic? Why? I like Luka Doncic. At least he's aggressive and can shoot the ball. Nah, man. Philly, please tell me why you think Ben Simmons is an elite player right now? Do you think Ben Simmons is an elite player right now? And if so, please tell me why. Because I don't see it. I would rather have Luka Doncic right now. See, that's the thing. It's upside. You can't bank on upside. That's what everybody's hinging on, is that upside. And that could leave you kind of with your bird in your hand, so to speak. Because if he doesn't pan out, it's like, well, okay, well, he's got this upside. And that's the thing, like... Dude, Eric, he is, man. He's entitled for everything that he's had, for the accolades, and it's just, I'm not seeing it anymore. I saw it towards the end of the season last year. I expected him to come in here and because he worked all summer on his jump shot, but where is it? We're 25, 26 games into the season, and I haven't seen jack. I've seen the lack of confidence. I've seen him digress on his aggression, go into the freaking... There's some games where he does go to the line, he's aggressive, he's in the post. Cool. Continue to do that. Why can't you do that every game? Take a few jumpers. Miss them. J. Kidd and Magic, I say this point all the time, couldn't shoot. We're the same type of player as Ben Simmons, but they kept the defense honest by at least attempting to shoot. Who cares if you miss? Just attempt. It keeps the defense honest. It's not going to just ward them off and load up the paint, and you're taking a player away by doing that. You're helping the defense out by doing that. That's fine. The defense, but what puts points on the board? More. Offense. I would take an offensive player over a defensive player any day of the week. 100%. And Ben Simmons isn't like an elite defender. He's a good defender. He's not elite. So, until Ben proves me wrong and shows me something different, I'm good. He can go run off to L.A. all he wants. I could care less. Ben should be further along than LeBron when he came in. Had way more experience. Yeah, dude, that's the other thing. He's had a dad that's played in the NBA. He's been around basketball his whole life. LeBron's shot looked skeptical in his first few years. It did, Jose, but at least he shot. He had that killer instinct also. He would at least drive and get to the lane and go to the line. Ben Simmons doesn't do that. LeBron couldn't shoot when he came in, but he worked on it, and he shot the ball during the game. Ben Simmons doesn't do that either. I wouldn't be scrutinizing this kid if he attempted it. That's the whole thing. You know? That's my whole qualm. That's my whole beef with Ben. And in my eyes, we still need that third tripod to this team. He's got to do something, Jose, because it ain't working for me. I'm not digging it. Pisses me off. It just pisses me off, dude. He had one more point than he did a turnover. He turns the ball over a lot because he feels like his ability to see the passing lanes, which he can. He's great at that. Phenomenal vision. But sometimes he leans a little too much on that, and he gets him in trouble, and he turns the ball over. This team is afraid of the paint. They just want to hang around the three-point. Well, they start to do that, Sean, because they try to bail themselves out by hitting threes and getting back into the game. You know, it's like they knock themselves off their game plan. If it ain't working with Embiid, we play a lot of iso ball a lot of the times. They'll watch around and watch one player. They did it with Butler tonight. Okay, we'll give Butler the ball, and we're all just standing around. Did you see anybody cutting to the basket? Did you see anybody trying to run off screens, set screens for themselves? No. We need 4 like surges, and we need a scorer off the bench like Lou Will. I would have, yeah, well, we're not going to get Lou Will, but I agree. I wanted Lou Will a few years ago to try to get him. We need a guy that can score in bunches. Correct. I agree, Eric. You're preaching to the choir, brother. Preaching to the choir. So that's all. That's all up to Elton Brand to go out and do whatever he's got to do. You know, I don't care if it takes 3-4 draft picks to go get Bradley Beal. You got to get a player of his caliber right now. Yep, agree, Sean. But we don't have a coach right now that has the ability to do that. We have a coach that likes to stick to the 2 plays that he knows. And we didn't even really see that tonight, that two-way game with JJ and Embiid. And I figured they would. But give credit to the Raptors. All the credit in the world. They had a great defensive game plan against Embiid. They got physical with him. They pushed him off the block, and they turned him into a jump shooter. When Embiid isn't dominating, this team falls apart. I know. But Jose, this is when the coach has to come in and be like, okay, we're going to start drawing up plays for JJ, Jimmy, whoever, Ben Simmons, get to the line, attack the defense, penetrate, break down the defense, try to hit somebody with an open shot, whether it's a Muscala, a Shamet, JJ, whoever. Korkmaz. That's Brett's inability to not show up and know how to use his minutes wisely and have a good rotation going. I mean, we had who out there for... Korkmaz was barely out there. You could have tried to get him going. He's the guy that has the ability to shoot. He's shown he can hit a couple threes. Shamet was a little flat tonight, but he, a lot of the times, was trying to create his own shot. That's not his game. We have a player development culture changing assistant and our head coach. We just need the buckets coach and the next coach. We shouldn't have let Lloyd Pierce go. That's what's hurting us, too. He was a very underrated coach. Much like last year with the Eagles, with DiFilippo and Frank Wright. Butler might have to be our star now. No, I still think it's Embiid, Lionel. But Jimmy's going to be our second option. And it's great to have Jimmy here, but is that going to hurt the confidence of Ben Simmons? I feel like that doesn't put pressure on him to try to be an offensive-minded guy. It kind of enables him to be more of a pass-first player. And I don't want Ben to be a Jesus, I'm tongue-tied. A pass-first player. I want him to be a second scorer to Embiid and have Jimmy be the third fiddle. But now with Jimmy Butler coming in and being more aggressive, I hope Jimmy is in Ben's ear all night saying, you got to be aggressive, you got to take jumpers, whatever. Sixers have to change that culture too with saying, hell no, we're not going to let your brother teach you and watch film with you. We're going to have our coaches teach you how to do this, this, and that. Stop letting the players dictate everything. You guys are the organization. You are the coaches. You say what's what. We cannot let these players kind of just come in here and walk all over everything and demand everything. Like what the hell is that? Yeah, Mark Cuban for Prez, bro. Absolutely. Let's get Cuban in here. Buy the Sixers, bro. Please. Come back to PA. Get Scott O'Neal and all them other dudes out of here. They're clowns. They don't know freaking what from what. That's pretty much it, though. So we got the Pistons coming up. Next 2 games, we go to... It's not Auburn Hills. I forget where they play now. They got a new stadium. But we go up to Detroit to play. They come here, and then we got Brooklyn to play here. Raptors just have a better team right now. Depth and length is crazy. Yeah, you got to give credit to... They're a great team. You know, adding Kawhi Leonard to what they already had was phenomenal. And the development of Pascal... what is his name? That's when he is his best, when he's a two-way and not a second scorer. No, that's not a loss. We just can't play like we did last time in Detroit either and let freaking Ben Griffin go for 50 points. Or Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin go for 50 points. You shut him down, Detroit's got nothing else. Nothing. That's got to be our main focus. It's the coaching. Coaching. But yeah, by breaking up that combo of DeRozan and Lowry was the best thing they did, and then you get a dominant player like Kawhi Leonard, it's going to excel. If they were able to get him last year and get rid of DeRozan, I think they would have beat Cleveland. Blake can't abuse Dario because he's gone. Yeah, exactly. We can put Ben Simmons on him, but that won't happen. Jimmy wants to be our third option so he can shut stars down. But he's not. Eric, look at him. He's the second option. Ben isn't. Jimmy is the second option and Embiid's the first. Ben is yet again doing his passive thing and taking a back seat. Letting somebody come up and take the reins. I hate that. I freaking can't stand it. Why you like Elton Brand as a GM? That would be awesome. So, Jose, I like Elton Brand as a GM because of, even though he's been a GM for a very, very short time, is because of what he was able to do to get Jimmy Butler here. Okay? By not really selling the farm, so to speak, you gave up, you know, a defensive player, a hustle guy in Dario, and Egghead, without giving up that Miami pick that we acquired over the summer. And really giving up any other young talent. So to be able to get a player of Jimmy's caliber for the players that we gave up, I thought that was a great move by him. Great move by that GM for being a first-time GM. You know, it also helped in our situation that Butler was a cancer, so to speak, and Minnesota, and they were just trying to get the best deal for him. That worked in our favor as well. But you got to give credit to Elton for not giving in and kind of just caving and giving them what they wanted. Shot selection was trash. Yeah, he was. His shot selection was crap. You know, I kind of see that and I see why people get pissed at Muscala because, I mean, he doesn't do a lot of the times what Rocco used to do when the shot clock's running down 2 seconds off and he's jacking up threes. At least Muscala can move off the three-point line and do other things. Rocco didn't know what to do if he wasn't standing behind the arc. You know what I mean? So, Brand pulled a Howie. Absolutely, Jose. Yes, he did. He learned from a very smart man. And that's why I'm hoping Elton Brand can maybe work his magic a little bit more. Fingers crossed. Because he's going to watch this game, assess what we need, and go out and make a move. He said, even after we acquired Jimmy, that we weren't done yet. So they've been doing their homework still. And now with the new news coming out about Fultz, they diagnosed him with, it sounds like, some made-up disease. But other athletes have had this. But, okay, after he does have this assessment, it's going to take 3 to 6 weeks, right? He's going to go out to L.A. He's going to have, whatever, get it taken care of. What's going to happen, though, if the same crap still happens, right? What excuse do you have now? You have nothing else to fall back on. So I'm hoping the best for Markelle. I hope this is really what the issue was. You still have now that you figured out it was a mental thing, or a physical thing, I'm sorry. Now that you figured out that it was a physical thing, now you have to work on the mentality of everything that he's just gone through. That's still going to be an uphill battle. And once he does get past that, or you can't figure, like, people have had surgery with this. So are you going to cut out the upper part of your rib cage and have it go that far if this doesn't end up working, if this rehab doesn't end up working? I mean, I'm just kind of curious. I hope he can get back to the player that he was in Washington. I hope we do not get rid of him. I still want to pull for Markelle Fultz. I do. And after everything that's happened, I'm pulling for the kid. We could really use his ability to score the basketball like he was able to do in Washington. I'm not ready to give up on him yet. Just because, again, potential. People want to say potential about Ben Simmons. Well, Fultz has potential too. All right. I'll answer 2 more questions, and then I'm going to head up out of here. Because I've been rambling on for way too long. Anything else? Anything else got for me? Anybody else have any questions, statements, concerns? Who you think Elton Brand should go out and get if we can't acquire a player like Bradley Beal, which we probably can't? And I'm not just saying like the obvious answers of Lou Will. Is there any other player that you think that we can target that could affect this team and help us push us to a championship level? Muscala can't guard one position, let alone multiple positions like Rocco. Yeah, but he wasn't really replacing Rocco. He was replacing Dario. That would be nice. Anybody else have a wish list that hopefully Santa could deliver? His body language is lazy and lackadaisical. Who's that, Jose? Muscala? All I want for Christmas is the Sixers to acquire Bradley Beal. So if Santa can make that happen, that'd be ballin', bruh. Think we should keep our draft picks like the Raptors did the draft athletic bodies. A new coach, Lionel? I agree with that one. So you want to hang on to our draft picks? I could care less about our draft picks now. Buddy Hield? I wouldn't mind Buddy. He can shoot the ball. He could be a nice little addition off the bench. Will the Kings trade with us again? Is the question. Isaiah? You're not talking about Isaiah Thomas, are you? Jose? I don't want him. You talking as a player, or are you talking about Isaiah Thomas as the coach? Fultz? What about Fultz? You want to keep Fultz? Get rid of him? What? Oh, Fultz looks lazy. Yeah, he does. At times. They are trade assets at this point, Eric. I could care less about looking for the draft for us personally. We've done that. We've done all that noise. Oh, God. You don't throw them away. Dude, I'm not saying throw them away. I'm saying to use them as trade pieces. Put that last question up there after Eric. I missed that. But at this point, I'm not looking towards 2021 to see what the Sixers can do with that. The Fultz will be coming off the bench if he does come back and we don't trade him. Absolutely. But it's all up to Markelle Fultz. I think the body language was like that, Jose, is because of all the media attention that he's got for being a bust. I mean, football players are making fun of him after touchdown celebrations. It's gotten that widespread that he is this situation with him. His whole condition and situation has become a U.S. worldwide thing. Not worldwide, U.S. spread. Isaiah off the bench who can shoot 26 plus. I don't want Isaiah Thomas, if that's who you're talking about. Hell no. He is such a defensive liability, and he's old, and he wants a lot of money. No. No, thank you. But to get back to the draft pick thing, I was all in on my draft picks, this, and that, but who cares about that 2021 pick? That is something that you use, Eric, to acquire a player like a Beal or whoever you can go get. If you move the pick, we need to get a player that puts... Yeah, would you be okay by giving that pick up to get Beal, if that's an option? Or a player of Beal's caliber? Because I am. Because we're not looking at the draft. You know, the same with the Kings pick. I don't think we were ever going to keep that pick. That was going to be a trade chip as well. because you've got Embiid, now you got Butler. We're still waiting on Simmons. Still waiting to see what we can get with him. People still think he's a franchise player. I'm waiting still because Boston have enough to trade for Anthony Davis tomorrow. Oh, I know they have a ton, but we don't have enough now to get a player of Anthony Davis's caliber. Even if we get Beal, we are not winning the finals because they're just depletes our depth even more. Well, you have to get more than just Beal, right? So you'd have to get like another throw-in player so we don't keep depleting our bench like we did with the 3-for-2 kind of with the Timberwolves. We're still waiting on Patton if he can ever get healthy. But right, you'd have to get in a player like a Markelle Morris or an Oubre or somebody like that. So maybe you sweeten the pot. Maybe that's where you throw Fultz in there. Fultz, Miami pick, Wilson Chandler. Maybe one of our other picks, our personal picks. It's still probably not going to be enough to get him. Maybe you take the protections off of it. Maybe 3 years down the road, give him a 2022 pick unprotected. Sweeten the pot that way. So, I don't think Boston is going to get them Anthony Davis anyway, Eric. I don't think Beal puts us over. Nobody on the Wizards gets us to that point. I don't know, dude. Bradley Beal's nice. He can shoot. He can create his own shot. He can get to the line. I mean, he's a 3-level player. I think he definitely helps us, especially if you acquire a bench piece along with him. That ain't never going to happen. We're never fleecing the Kings again. D-Box has learned. He's straightened up. He's smartened up. We don't got Hinkie here. Elton Brand's nice, but I don't know if he's got the conniving ways of Mr. Hinkie. I definitely think it puts us in the Eastern Conference Finals, possibly the finals if we get a Beal-type player. Pels are not trading AD. He's not even... Yeah. No, they're not. They should think about it. Because if he's going to leave after 2021, try to get a return now because they're not going to the finals. They're not stopping the freaking... They can't even beat the Thunder, I don't think. Or the Clips or whoever. All right, guys. I'm going to get up out of here. Disappointing loss, but it's what we expected. This was a true test to see where the Sixers are at, and I think we're at the right placement. We're at a 2 to 3 seed at this point. Okay, we faced a phenomenal, talented team tonight. Very young, athletic, can defend, can get into passing lanes is what they did. They got a superstar. They've never had a player of Kawhi Leonard's talents or caliber on their team to this date. Last player they had like Kawhi was Vince Carter, and that's been a very, very long time. So, you trade in a good player in DeRozan, and you get a superstar in Kawhi Leonard. Great move by them. They're the team to beat in the East. We are looking up. And again, don't forget about the Celtics. Don't think or sleep on them. They're still in this. They're going to figure it out. They have too much talent and too good of a coach to be where they're at this point. Take care, homie. Brett's on the hot seat for me. Oh, God, Eric, I hope you're joking about Fizdale. Yikes. Have a good one, though, bro. Definitely. I don't want Fizdale. You gotta be kidding me. Hell no. Yeah, Budenholzer's nice, but he's with the Bucks. He ain't leaving there. Another Popovich tree. I'm still waiting to see what Popovich really rubbed off on Brett. Because I haven't seen anything like it. Rich Kranitz coming back to the Phillies. Come on. No baseball talk during basketball talk, bro. All right, Jose, have a good one, guys. This is KG on BB. I'm out. Disappointing loss. But the Sixers still need to acquire more talent for us to get further into the season and possibly into the Eastern Conference Finals. We do not want to digress and get knocked out in the second round, maybe even the first round this year. A lot of work to do. Elton Brand, get on the phones, baby. Let's get it done. Let's make a trade happen. dangle that freaking Miami pick at whoever is willing to take it. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace.